What's up? What's up? What's up? Miscasts of the world. That's kind of new. I'm trying that out. Welcome back to the Miscast review. I'm your host, Jake O'Mara, and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Donovan Holland. What's up, buddy?
It's kind of got that 70s show vibe in here.
It kind of does.
Especially when they go down to the basement.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the vibe we're going for.
I take
a
that
little
back.
bit.
They're already in the basement.
Yeah.
They're always already in the basement.
But except for when they're not in the basement.
Well, I guess that's true.
Like when they're in the kitchen or in the driveway.
Hyde will be like, it'll just show Hyde's face. Guys, I got something that can take our minds off this.
And then they go to the basement. And that's where we are. In our basement.
But we had to move our basement. Let's get into that, Jake.
So literally, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, we were posted up in the same on the same side of the street that we were parked at last episode. Same area. You know, I thought it was going to be a good place to park and
in
record.
My neighborhood on my street.
Literally down the street from Donovan's house.
Yeah.
So it's literally down the street and around the corner. That's where we parked. You know, there was no cars on the road. I parked in front of a tall fence. So I wasn't parked specifically to not be parked in front of somebody's house.
It was one of those
specifically.
It's like one of those spots where you find like on the curb that you're like, oh, this is a good spot to park because it's not in front of someone's house.
Yeah, because
it's just like literally like the person's house is like way over here, corner, right? And then on this corner where he parked was just a big tall white fence and for probably 5 car spaces.
Yeah, nothing. And then there was. Yeah, the next house over, like you said, it was like 5 car spaces away, maybe 50 yards away from the van. And, you know, just like last week, I popped the top of the Westie, you know, get it nice and comfortable in here. So we were able to just, you know, fully just chill and record and get into it. And literally, I'm like getting ready to hit record. I'm like seconds away from hitting record. And then all of a sudden, I hear this dude outside the van on the phone with somebody saying, yeah, there's a brown van down the street and I got pictures of the license plate and I don't know if there's anybody in there. I'm assuming he was talking to the cops the way he was talking.
Yeah.
It was like in a report. I doubt it was like a friend or something.
Like he was putting like his big man voice on.
Yeah, like he was reporting us for some goddamn weird reason. And then he's like, I got a picture of the license plate. I don't know if there's anyone in here. And all the windows in the Westie are blackout, so you can't see into the van except for in the cab. And then when he got to the cab, like towards the passenger seat, he was like, oh yeah, there's a camera in here. I don't know if there's anybody in there. I don't know what they're doing in there. And then when he got to the very front of the van, because he's circling us, he saw us in here and he's like, oh yeah, there's 2 people in there. I don't know what they're doing. And then I waved. I was like, hey, what are you doing? Fucking weirdo. And then he's like, one of them is waving at me. I don't know what's going on.
I heard like he kept like making these very like seemingly like asinine like reports to the cops, like, oh, he's waving at me, now he's opening the door, okay, he's getting out.
He's like, he's opening the door and he's getting out. It's like I'm smiling, I'm waving, I'm being as disalarming and disarming as possible, being as friendly as I can, because like I don't know what this guy's about to do. We're in East County, he could shoot me for all I know. Like,
no, exactly.
These people it's very unhinged. Well, when I got out, I was like, hey, can I help you? Like, what are you doing? Like, because like in my head, I'm like so out of the way of everybody of like causing a problem. Because I parked away from people's houses. I parked on an empty street. Like, we're literally just recording this podcast. I'm like, I'm so out of the realm of doing something wrong. Like, so I'm like, what are you doing? Like, excuse me.
He just had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
he was looking for a problem.
He was so looking for a problem. And he was like, what are you guys doing?
He's like, oh, there's a I heard he's like, there's a camera in there. I don't know why. Oh, okay. And now there's, you know, there's 2 guys in there. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, like we're trying to like record a porno in here. Yeah, exactly. Like, no. And I told him, I was like, oh, we're just recording a podcast. We talk about movies. And he's like, yeah, what kind of movies? And I was like, we're gonna talk.
Backdoor Sluts 9, buddy.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse, pal.
Have you ever seen the Empire Slaps Back?
Yeah, exactly. And once I told him, I was like, we're talking about Spider-Verse, and he was just like, you could tell that he was like,
you probably didn't know what the hell that was.
Well,
do you think he did?
I mean, I don't know. It's maybe his kids or something. I don't know, but
he's like, it's that new woke Spider-Man. Probably that's what he was thinking.
That's probably what he was thinking.
He knows what it is at all.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't help.
Because again, I was so dumbfounded.
Because he didn't even say Spider-Man or anything.
No, I was like, we're talking about Spider-Verse, and he was like, he looked like his demeanor dropped, and he was like not as like defensive anymore.
He's like, what the fuck is that?
But then he was like. I was like, yeah, but my buddy, because I knew he was going to be telling me to leave. So I was like, well, my buddy lives down the street. And he was like, yeah, where? And I was like, well, I didn't say your street because I didn't know how crazy he was. I just said Madison. And he's like, well, go do it over there.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for not saying, yeah, because I never want to see this guy again.
Yeah, he's like literally like down the street from you. So like, I was like, I don't know, you live a little bit too close to this guy to just fully give you his address. So I was like, no, I'm gonna fudge it a little bit. And he was still just like, get out of here, go do it over there. And I was like, all right. And then again, after it took like 5 minutes to pack everything up and then close the top down and like go around, and I decided instead of just going straight and turning away and going away, I flipped around so I could drive by him again. And he was still on the phone, and literally as I was driving, he was just like following me, and I was like, I waved, and I was like, just trying to be friendly. And then just so again, like to reiterate that like we're not doing anything wrong. We're friendly people. We're not we're just chilling.
Yeah.
I'm like, just being friendly, wave, smile, and then he's just still mean mugging on the phone, following me with his face.
And why is he like on the phone? Why is he on the phone to the cops?
I think he was trying to get them to come here and kick us out.
No, I know, but like, is that what his morning consists of? Is that the best thing that he has to do?
I mean,
today?
dude, it's a 10:30 on a Tuesday. He's not doing anything. Probably.
I mean, he's probably retired.
He's probably so bored and unsatisfied in his life that he's like, oh, what's going on over here in the suspicious VW bus with the top popped? Like clearly just out of the way.
He was probably like so excited that like, he's like something finally happens in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then he like comes out of his house all excited. He puts on like his best like car show like shirt from Target
and cargo pant shorts.
Actually, no, he probably doesn't go to Target.
It was probably Walmart.
It's probably Walmart. His cutest little cargo pants, and he just like comes out thinking that he's gonna have like a problem. What if he didn't think necessarily that it was going to be a problem, but that he wanted to somehow involve himself with the suspected porno?
That's a really good theory.
I'm just thinking outside the box.
I didn't think about that.
I wonder, like, did he want to hold the camera? And then, we disappointed him, obviously, by talking about Spider-Verse. Maybe he's like, he's like, Spider-Man? He's like, oh, I thought it was the one with 3 Spider-Men. Oh, shit.
Oh, dang it,
he's like,
man.
yeah, that's not the one.
I mean, yeah, I guess anything's possible. I mean, this is a, 70-year-old man with a huge beer belly, like... You can just tell he's got nothing going on today. So he was just like, I think he was just looking for entertainment more than anything. He just wanted to do something.
I know.
With his day.
I know.
I mean, this is probably the highlight of his week.
Imagine if, like, he wasn't on the phone with the cops,
yeah.
and he was on the phone with, like, one of his friends, and he's like, he's saying that, he's like, it's like the 2 dudes in Pulp Fiction. Remember not Jules and Vincent, obviously, but the guys in the thrift store with Marcellus Wallace and Butch, when they capture him, and he's like, all right, Zed, get over here. I got 2 of them. And they have the whole guy locked down. What if he's like, he's like, all right, his buddy's like, probably like named like Jeb or something. He's like, all right, Jeb, come here. I got another VW bus. He looks in, he's like, yep, they're filming as usual. He's like, got 2 of them. 2 males this time.
Yeah.
Him and Jeb, dude, they were probably just pissed that, like, you know, we were just 2 guys filming something called Spider-Verse or whatever that was.
Yeah.
That was obviously not, like, anything fun.
I don't know, man.
If it wasn't cops, but if he was on the phone with cops, then.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't know. He just bored old man.
Just some people, man. I know. Well, yeah, whatever. He needs some entertainment in his life.
Yeah. But yeah, when I finally was turning the corner and passing him and could see that he was still just like mean mugging me on the phone, I just like threw up my sarcastic, passive aggressive hands and I was like, "What? What do you want, dude?" Like,
just go back inside and, you know, watch golf or something.
I don't know. But anyway, that's been our morning on this Tuesday morning at 10:30, dealing with some Kevins.
I know, yeah, that was no fun for me.
But other than that, how's your week been, buddy?
Oh my gosh, man. Well, I saw with my girlfriend, we were celebrating our what anniversary? No, I'm just kidding. We were celebrating our 2nd anniversary, and we went and saw Raiders of the Lost Ark in the
So
theater.
sick.
It was really cool to see, like that was like, I think that was the 2nd time that I ever saw like an old movie in theaters, and the first was actually with you when we saw Jurassic Park like 10 years ago.
Wait, what?
We saw Jurassic Park in the theater.
We did?
And it was my first time seeing it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, 2 Spielberg movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I could remember that.
I know.
Really
and
fun.
Your mom was there, and then like,
What?
yeah, and then we were watching. I remember we were watching the part with where Samuel Jackson has. No, it wasn't Samuel Jackson who says it. It was fucking Jeff Goldblum. He's like, "That's a big pile of shit," and then your mom was like, "Oh." Like I was like, "Oh, Trish," like,
Aw.
I'm sorry. No, but it was just like it was pretty crude.
Wow.
You know, but it's like out of nowhere, fucking Jeff Goldblum.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
He's so great.
What a guy.
He's like I would love to meet Jeff Goldblum and just kind of listen to him talk for like an hour.
Yeah, you know how Vanity Fair does the actors and actors things where they had like 2 actors from a prominent thing have a conversation with each other for like 40 minutes. I just sent you the one with
about that.
I just sent you the one with Hayden Christensen and
Diego Luna. Okay, I did see that, but I didn't know that was like an ongoing series.
Yeah, they do it every year, and it's like a reflection of like television's biggest, like the heads or the stars of like the biggest shows of the previous year. They'll like pair them off 1-on-ones, and then they all like have like 40-minute conversations with each other about each other's projects.
Gotcha.
And it's like the most wholesome thing ever, because a lot of the times they're just like geeking out over each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
yeah.
Yesterday I just watched the Steven Yeun and Pedro Pascal one.
Okay, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
one.
it was great because Steven Yeun was there talking about Beef, and then Pedro was there talking about The Last of Us, and they were just like geeking out over each other. They're just like fanboying the whole time.
That's so cool.
And that's what happened with Hayden Christensen and Diego Luna too, but like on a whole nother level. Like they were just like nerding out over Star Wars and each other's projects.
Is it something that I can listen to? Because when I'm driving in the car at work.
Okay, yeah. It's just like I that's how I listened to it, just while I was doing stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a little
sure.
podcast thing.
So, this is a thing that Vanity Fair does with different actors?
Yeah,
okay.
like the stars of the biggest shows from the previous year, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like during like all shows that are eligible for this season's award shows.
Oh, okay.
For like the Grammys and
what did
stuff
Hayden
like
Christensen do? Obi-Wan?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenobi.
Okay. Or Kenobi.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, no, for real.
Such a disappointment.
I know. Yeah, especially the name.
Whatever. Did you see?
Like, be more creative.
I was just about to go on another tangent, but first I want to wrap up how I went onto that Vanity Fair tangent.
Can I have a drink of your mango cart?
That
is LaCroix.
LaCroix tangerine.
Fine. Well,
You can have a sip of
since
that.
you already.
But I was saying that because I would want to do actors on actors episode with Jeff Goldblum.
That would be so dope.
I just want to sit down and hang out with him for a second.
I know.
That would be really fun.
Be like, well, yes. I mean, that's my Jeff.
Yes.
Goldblum impression. Yeah, he just gets excited and he's like, oh yes, and when we were with the dinosaurs, Mr. Spielberg, he said, don't touch that, and I was like, oh, I'm going to touch it anyway. Yes.
Oh,
what's this?
Unprofessional. Timers.
It's just a timer. I don't even know what that's for.
Wow, dude.
I'm sorry. At least my timer's relaxing sounding now.
That's true. That was very peaceful.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, are we in a Zen garden now? I didn't know we could teleport.
But you see why it didn't wake me up for surfing that one time.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not good for waking up,
Oh
unfortunately. What was I gonna say? Oh,
Actors Garden.
Actors Garden, Olive Garden, free unlimited breadsticks,
and salad.
Oh yeah, they do salad too. I didn't know about that because I just get the breadsticks.
You don't have, dude. The salad's actually really good.
Yeah, but
that's so funny you mentioned that. I'm actually going there tonight.
Are you serious?
I'm actually I'm actually going on a very expensive and luxurious date there.
To Olive Garden.
It's gonna be the most expensive meal that Victoria's actually had in this month probably. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to be like, are you serious?
No.
Didn't you guys just go to the fondue place?
The melting pot.
Yeah, isn't that's really expensive.
But yeah, I think that Olive Garden's salad might just be something to win you over, Jake.
Oh, I'll have to try it.
You need to try it.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from Olive Garden, which I have had Olive Garden lots before, just not the salad.
We have to mention them once every episode. They are a possible sponsor.
Dude, that would be a sick sponsor.
I know.
Get free salads and breadsticks as our sponsor. Anyway, moving on. Last week we relaunched the Miscast review. First episode back. How did it feel?
It actually felt it's not quite like riding a bike.
Yeah, no.
I wasn't. I kind of felt a little awkward. And also I feel like we didn't really know quite what to talk about because we haven't been in the podcast setting for.
Yeah.
When me and Jake talk, it's just kind of about whatever in non-podcast form.
Yeah.
Like people do. It's very similar to this, except I feel like we're just a lot more tangential than we were with this. So how we stayed on a tangent for 5 minutes. It's just very ADD, very ADHD.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
Yeah. So it's not. So we kind of had to focus it back up.
Yeah, and we're definitely out of practice on that. And I feel like even talking movies is a little out of practice because I feel like we haven't really done that much in the last few years. And I feel like, at least for me, I've been keeping it reserved because every time I feel like it's been such a just moments away from restarting the pod for the last 3 years that every big movie I'm don't want to talk a ton about because I don't know if we're gonna talk about it. Nope from last year. We were supposed to relaunch the show last summer with Nope.
We've still never talked about
and we've never talked about Nope with each other.
I want to know why the hell you like it so much.
I want to know why you don't like it so much. So we've been holding off on talking about this movie for almost a full year now because we kept thinking that we were going to relaunch the show with Nope, but we never did. Nope. So we're going to, on a slow month coming up with not a lot of releases, we're going to have to talk about Nope.
And then I'm just going to put this in here just so I can hold Jake accountable and myself. Jake doesn't want to do it, but just so we can have a verbal record of it. Okay, so the two things that were very important to me is that we do we got to talk about Clerks 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then also Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We can just do a big one for all three, or we can do Raiders and then a movie, Temple of Doom movie, Raiders movie, or whichever you want to do it, and then like alternate.
Yeah.
And then, but I really want to talk about The Last Crusade.
Yeah. Oh, we will.
Okay.
I mean,
because that movie's like just like so important to me.
Probably the first episode of July, we'll just do a huge Indiana Jones episode and talk about the whole series.
Perfect.
Just like a big old 2-hour episode where we just dive into the entire franchise.
That's what I like to hear.
And then, because the Dial of Destiny comes out on the 30th, and we'll have to talk about that first week of July.
Exactly.
So why not just make it a giant, huge retrospective?
That would
the
be
whole
great.
episode. We'll talk about
the Indiana Jones trilogy and
the trilogy,
Crystal Skull,
Destiny, and maybe we can dive into some other obscure properties and stuff.
The young Indiana Jones was pretty good.
So good. I love that show.
I will say though, it feels like it definitely feels like is that River Phoenix? No, it's Sean Patrick Flanery, huh?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So it feels like he feels like River Phoenix, who like feels like young Indiana Jones, but I don't like he doesn't really feel like Harrison Ford, if that makes sense. Like it's
definitely
like a very much different vibe. Like I could see how like they could like he could grow into that like through a lot of like, you know, change, but he doesn't resemble, you know, like Harrison Ford Indy.
No.
I don't feel like.
No. And I mean, I feel like River Phoenix doesn't either.
No, I agree.
But like you said, I feel like River Phoenix and Sean Patrick Flanery resemble each other.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That
it's just the original disconnect happened with River Phoenix because they didn't feel like each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, that just kind of happens when you cast somebody younger to play like a kid version.
That's true.
It's just like, it's not Harrison Ford as a kid, so of course there's going to be that weird disconnect there. But we just have to suspense our disbelief.
Oh no, like it works and I like it. I'm just like, you know, I have like this the biggest man crush on Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like just like everyone else.
Yeah,
you know?
that's natural.
Yeah.
Well, we're about 30 minutes into the episode. Shall we get into news?
News, yes, of course. Right, and action.
So, movie news. Unlike last episode, there was actually quite a bit of good juicy goss in the news today. This last couple weeks.
You say?
Now, I did write the show notes about a week ago because we took 2 weeks off. You know, we're still getting into the swing of things, guys. Forgive us, please.
It happens.
So there was a good amount of news to talk about, unlike the week before where I just couldn't really find much of anything. But the first bit of news involves our favorite hitman, John Wick. Are you ready for this?
Okay. Lay it on me.
John Wick Chapter 5 is in development.
John Wick Chapter 5?
Uh-huh. Spoilers for Chapter 4 real quick, because I know we're about to talk about the ending of this.
Don't listen to
So if you haven't seen Chapter 4,
Chapter
don't
4.
listen to the next, 10-15 minutes. But
So, obviously, he's probably, it seemed like he died.
yeah.
I'm not going to say it seemed like he died because he got, shot 3 times. Because, our man has been thrown off balconies, beat to death, stabbed, shot at point blank. And been fine. That's not why I think that he died. I think that he died because the movie, kind of made it.
They had a funeral for him.
Yeah, they kind of made it pretty
and
clear that he died.
And the last shot we see of him, he keels over on the staircase, presumably dying in that moment.
Exactly.
You know?
And then Winston said, "Goodbye, my son," and everyone teared up.
Exactly.
My
assumption is he's dead, but here's where things can get juicy, my friend.
Okay.
So, the entire theme of Chapter 4, and arguably since Chapter 2, the whole theme is John Wick won't find true freedom unless it's in death. Basically, everyone's been telling him that, especially in Chapter 4. Skarsgård, homie, was literally constantly telling him, "You're not going to be free until you're dead." Yeah,
that guy was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's for real. But so that's been the overarching thing. So a theory is I mean, John obviously knows this, and so what better way than to get his freedom than to make everybody think he's dead and fake his own death, essentially. And then the biggest like evidence people have for this is in the funeral scene, his dog, I forget if the dog has a name or not.
I don't think
it's
he
just
does.
dog.
Yeah, it's just dog.
But his dog, for a moment, he like turns his head off into the woods and like turns his head a little bit. And like people are thinking that maybe he sees John like in the woods.
John's just like hiding behind a tree, like, oh, they do love me.
It's like the season 2 finale episode of Sherlock when Sherlock Holmes fakes his death and then everyone's at his funeral and then he's off at the funeral behind a tree just like watching them.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's possible. And I mean, Keanu and the director, forgive me, I forget his name, they said that if they
Chad Stahelski.
Yes, yeah. And if they could come up with a really great way to continue the story, they would. And if not, they wouldn't. So the fact that it's in development just makes me assume that they cracked the code and it's going to be amazing. I mean, they have 4 bangers on their hands without a single flaw.
Like, no flaws.
So, like...
it wasn't like, oh, well, okay, like, the second one wasn't that good.
No, all of them are, like, perfection in their own right. So, like, I have no right to doubt them and their ideas. I think if they are doing it, they will make it rock.
I'm along for the ride,
you know,
but I just don't, and I'm happy to be, but I just don't want the emotional roller coaster that was John Wick Chapter 4, just because, like, that movie, like, especially, like, at the end, there's, like, the obvious metaphor for it's been compared to like some Greek tragedies and epics and stuff like that, the John Wick franchise. But just the end where he's making it his way up the stairs, and then isn't that akin to some it's like Sisyphus or Odysseus?
Yeah, something like
pushing
that.
the boulder up the hill, and then the guy knocks him all the way down.
Yeah,
like super, like, you know. And then when he gets up, and you know they have the whole duel. Like 4 is like very, like, you know, it's very like, I guess you know, emotionally weighty. And
I mean, yeah, I feel like 4 is the perfect conclusion, and I mean I feel like 5 is gonna have to make it not so it cheapens that weight of 4,
exactly,
but finds a way to elevate it. And that's a really tricky balance. I mean, you see it with like Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. Like 3 is the perfect conclusion, but you have to find a way to elevate it. I don't think 4 reaches that.
No.
Which again, just that just shows how tricky this line is to thread. But I believe that these guys are, if anyone is going to be able to succeed in threading that needle, it's gonna be them.
Is there a possibility it could be a prequel and we could see like his time like as an actual working assassin? That would be cool.
I mean,
that would make sense.
That would make sense. There is that possibility. The only thing making it seem like it's not is that it's Chapter 5 and not like with a different like John Wick, something else.
Because you heard that other one, the ballerina one, is coming out.
That leads me to my next point, actually, is there is a ton of John Wick content coming to us soon, which including Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas, and it's going to be a prequel of his Russian family, and it's going to include John Wick from that point in time as well.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
So 5, I mean, they very well could switch it up, and when we get more details, they could announce that it is a prequel and it's not John Wick Chapter 5, but it's John Wick and then like some other random title or something.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's happened before, you know, a lot of times before a film is fully at a certain stage in development, it just gets labeled this, you know. So that's very possible for what's going on. But
I just
yeah.
like it's like they had. I just like had this like or I was thinking about this thing that they could do, if they ever like or like some. I can just see someone making like a fake trailer for like John Wick in Back to the Family, and then like he like comes back and like it's like Vin Diesel and he's like, "Hey, what's up, little brother?" And John Wick's
Fast
like,
and the
"Not
Furious
again."
thing.
But it's not even like it's not even like Fast and the Furious crossover. It's just like Vin Diesel's in it, and he's like, I haven't been wanting to see my brother in a while. And then Vin Diesel's like, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And he's like, "Nothing much."
That would be amazing.
That would be like a hilarious, and then like the needle drop. It's like some like 70s dad rock song. Like, don't bring me down. And then like it's just basically like John Wick and Vin Diesel like in like this like brotherly sort of like competition like during this family reunion.
Wow.
But yeah, I can totally see someone making like a joke trailer like that.
That would be crazy, dude.
That would be so crazy.
Wow.
But you saw the vision. Right?
I saw the vision. It would be
Okay,
really cool.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, maybe calling everyone out there, please, someone make that.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god,
With
that's
all
gonna
the
be
AI
a
stuff
highlight.
coming out nowadays, you know.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Moving back, so Ballerina is coming out. It premieres next year, 2025.
Nice. Okay.
And then also there's going to be a oh my god, sorry, just massive brain fart just now. Hey, I'm doing better than last week. Last episode I had like 1 billion brain farts. I've only had 2 so far.
Yeah, no,
so
we've
I'm
been
doing way
pretty
better
on it.
But yeah, so there's going to be on Paramount Plus a Continental show.
What?
Yeah, about like
That's
random
awesome.
shit that happens in like Continentals.
Is
and,
it
like,
just gonna have like Winston and like?
I don't know if it's gonna be just about the New York Continental, or is it gonna be about the Continental just in general over like the whole network?
Okay.
Maybe, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't think there's a premiere date yet. It just says it's airing soon. I'm assuming sometime next year, maybe after Ballerina comes out or something like that. That's my assumption. But yeah. Again, back to John Wick Chapter 5. Lionsgate chairman Joe Drake said in a statement, and I think where he announced that they were going to be doing a Chapter 5, he had mentioned that it's going to be a very natural progression from 4. So I don't know what to make of that.
Okay.
So again, that tells me nothing. So like, we're only going to have to wait and find out, you know. But
yeah.
Again, I have my full faith in that team. So
I do as well. Okay.
I'm hoping I'm going to be cautiously optimistic going
Okay.
into it, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much all the John Wick news.
I'm just curious. What do you think of Euphoria?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like it.
I don't know.
Couldn't get into it.
I think that the whole plot with like the A plot essentially,
Yeah.
with Rue and her drug addiction that has Fezco and you know all the people he's in with. That shit is fascinating. I would definitely watch like a mini series or like a 1-season show about that. But I could not give less of a shit about all of the high school drama because it just like it feels like it's done worse than Riverdale.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
No, dude. I just,
no, we're shot, dude.
it's just like they're just like, oh, like I'm popular. I'm more popular than you. And then they're like, oh, well, I kissed like that boy. And then like the one girl is like wears like the kitty mask and she's doing like the webcam shows. I'm like, what the hell is this?
No, nothing
And
is
like two
worse
completely
than
separated plots.
nothing is worse than fucking Riverdale, dude. Dude, just think about the when
I don't
Archie's
know,
in jail
What?
and there's like
Oh, yeah,
all
I
of the
did.
football guys in jail start dancing have a dance off because all the cheerleaders from the high school show up to the jail in their uniforms and start dancing and singing, and they have like a dance off. Like, you cannot tell me that's better than anything Euphoria's done. Get the fuck out of here.
You just unlocked that memory. I think you're so lucky that I saw that like obscure. You're lucky that I even stayed watching past season 1, man.
I do. No, I stopped after 1.
That fucking obscure ass episode where, I mean, maybe you saw it like it's on TikTok.
Dude, I've seen
it on TikTok.
It's on YouTube. I've seen so many
clips
I didn't
of
know
that.
I've only seen that like scene really.
I just saw it during that episode and I was like, what is that? You just unlocked that memory in my head.
Yeah, dude. That's
okay. It's not as bad. I'm okay. I take that back. It's not as bad as Riverdale.
No,
maybe Riverdale past season 1 because I think season 1 is genuinely good TV. I would say.
I would argue with that too. I would argue with you on that. Not against you. I agree. Season 1 of Riverdale was really good.
It was.
I loved it, and like halfway through season 2 is where they lost me.
It was They just
that's when I dropped.
They
off.
doubled the length of the seasons.
Horrible.
It went from like 13 episodes to like 25, 26 episodes.
Standard 25. Stupid.
Way too many.
But should we get to the actual topic of the episode?
Let's dive right in. Go, Web, go.
Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That's right. Okay.
All right.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
So, we saw it about, I don't know, it's been, what, a week or so since we've seen it now?
No, a week? Holy shit.
What day did we see it?
I feel like it's been like 3 days, maybe? I mean, maybe it's been a week. Jeez, time flies. I don't know. I don't think it was that long. It was
really?
Not that long ago.
Okay.
It was like... Didn't we see it like Friday?
I have no
I think we saw it Friday.
Well, anyways, we saw it somewhat recently.
To where we can remember it pretty well.
Yeah, I remember it pretty decently. I was hoping to watch it again before this, but I just never got a shot. But how'd you like it?
I really enjoyed it, actually.
Wait.
And
we're spoiling everything.
Oh,
by the
yeah,
way, I forgot to preface. We don't do not spoilers.
But also, that'd be weird if you're just like coming into like a second like chapter of like what I assume is a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it's a trilogy.
And just you hadn't seen it, and you're coming to us to tell you about it instead of just watching it first.
Yeah. So. Exactly. So, full spoilers.
Yeah, full spoilers. It's not gonna be like a play-by-play summary.
Yeah. So again, how'd you like it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought that especially the cinematography and coupled with the specific like art direction for and just kind of like the animation.
Yeah.
All of that combined, just like I was so entertained. It wasn't just like cotton candy as they call it, where you're just like, oh, I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm just here.
You're not watching Ant-Man Quantumania.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing like that. Mm-mm. It wasn't just like stuff was like a bunch of stuff was happening on the screen.
Yeah.
Like this, it was thoroughly like captivating. Like every corner of the screen, there's something going on, or like a little detail that you can pick up on. For example, when I say like little detail that you can pick up on, I noticed that a couple of the characters, but I noticed for Spider-Man 2099 in particular, when he doesn't have his or like it wasn't a helmet, it was a mask, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when he has his mask on and he's like running, like him and like it's so weird to like kind of describe, but like different parts of him and his suit are animated at different frame rates.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I caught like, maybe like an hour and a half into the movie. I was like, whoa, wait a second. And then I noticed it for the rest of the movie. Just shit like that. Just stuff like that. You're just like, damn, like there's care put into this.
Yeah, Spider-Punk is every part of him is animated in a different frame rate.
Oh really? He's like that too? Okay.
Yeah, like his head is animated different in a different frame rate than his torso. His torso is different from his arms, and his arms were different from his legs. Like they were all like different frame rates.
I wish he was in the movie more,
I
but
know.
he was my favorite. But
Really?
yeah, Spider-Punk was my favorite. But
He's
I
been
will
like
I will
everyone's
notice that.
MVP.
Oh, really?
Everyone's saying they want more of him.
Well, he was only in the movie for like what, half an hour, and then like he just like left.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I quit.
My personal MVP was Spider-Man India.
Yeah. That
I don't
guy was
know why.
pretty dope. That guy was super dope.
I loved him so much.
He was like really funny, like
Yeah.
when he's talking about like his hair and like it's funny because like they actually like, I mean they make you laugh obviously
Yeah.
during that sequence, but they don't, it's not like they're making fun of the culture or doing like any like stereotypes or anything. It's just like funny because it's like yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's so much care put into these movies. Like, it's kind of unbelievable, and it's a common thing I've been seeing, that it's like everyone's been thinking that we're starting to deal with superhero movie fatigue, and like we're just getting over it. But then this comes in, and it's so good, and we love it so much. It's like, oh no, we're just tired of trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I want something with like soul and heart in it, and this delivers that beautifully.
You can make a lot of things. I'm not going to say just about anything, but you can make like a lot of things like or ideas or concepts that wouldn't normally sound good.
Yeah.
You can make it good if you have, the right crew and the right people going about it.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, like Clerks, which, again, I have not seen the first one.
Unbelievable.
But we will. But isn't it's just like two like kind of people who didn't really have any acting experience just hanging out like at like a gas station just for a whole day, shot in black and white, but it works because it's Kevin Smith and the two actors, Randall and Dante, and I don't know the actors' names, but have amazing chemistry.
Yeah.
And it just is kind of like a lightning in a bottle type of thing. So you can just have like, things like that just work out amazingly.
Oh yeah.
If you have the care behind it that you should be applied.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's like, it's so good. There's so much like love poured into the movie, and you really feel that. You feel the care put into it in every frame.
I felt like it was, because I didn't even know that it was a direct, like, I thought it was just kind of like part 2 in like Miles Morales' story.
Uh-huh.
But and I haven't seen the original Spider-Verse in like 5 years.
Crazy.
But I didn't realize it's so closely connected to that one.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me I need a refresher. I should have rewatched that.
I know. I really want to rewatch that one too.
Yeah.
Really bad. It's been a while for me as well.
But so what is like the general like story? Because I think you're more familiar with it.
Of Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, and like kind of like this multiverse story, like.
Oh well. So I guess to give a quick little recap of Into, it was so Kingpin he lost his family in a car crash.
Okay.
And he has like access to this lab that basically is building this like collider that opens up the like multiverse.
Okay.
And he wants to go and take a multiverse, other Earth's version of his wife and kid to like be reunited with his family. And our Miles's universe version of Spider-Man is trying to stop him and shut the collider down. And then at the same time as that's happening, Miles is also in like the same sewer system where the collider is, and he's graffitiing with Uncle Aaron.
Okay.
And that's where this other universe's spider comes in and bites Miles, and this is where he gets bit. And according to what's his name? Spider-Man 2099. His whole thing is that because Miles isn't supposed to be Spider-Man in this universe, that causes a chain reaction, which then gets Miles's universe's version of Peter and Spider-Man killed that right then, like I think the Green Goblin comes in to back Kingpin up, and he kills Spider-Man. And then he entrusts Miles to like take this drive and destroy the Collider, because I sense that you're also a spider person. And then
that was like the canon event or whatever, and like Miles like ruined it.
no, that just like ruined his timeline basically.
Okay.
And like he becomes like an impossible anomaly basically, because he's not supposed to be Spider-Man.
Because only Peter Parker is supposed to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, in that universe.
I never knew that about Miles Morales. That's
yeah.
cool.
That's how it is for this iteration.
Oh,
of
that's
him.
not the Miles Morales character though.
Not in the comics, no.
Oh, okay. So so the Peter Parker that got killed because the spider bit Miles, was that Jake Johnson's Peter Parker?
No.
Or is that just some random Spider-Man that we don't really meet?
It was a random Spider-Man that you don't really meet.
Gotcha. Okay.
You have him for like the 5 minutes of that scene, basically.
Oh, okay.
Until he dies, and then passes on the mission to Miles. And because of whatever's going on with the Collider, it's like making splits in the multiverse, and things are coming through, which is where Miles ends up meeting Jake Johnson's Spider-Man.
Okay.
And because he comes through and like gets lost in Miles's universe, and then they have like a funny banter, and then Miles is like, you got to train me, and he's like, I don't know, like I don't do that. And he's like in a bad place because him and Mary Jane got divorced or something. And then Gwen is in that universe and comes in at a certain point and helps them out, and they all kind of team up. And then eventually a bunch of other spider people show up, and they all kind of team up and shut down the Collider and blow it up and stop Kingpin. And during the whole like Collider fight, like in that building, the like multiverse is like flowing in and out and stuff. And so to go back to their respected universes, they all like jump into this portal, and then it all like disappears and implodes in itself, destroying the Collider. And then that's apparently where Spot is created, is during that big explosion.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's like down in there, and like when that explodes, he turns into the Spot in that moment. And then I think Kingpin dies in that scene, or he's put in jail or something. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
And then there's like a really touching moment with Miles as Spider-Man talking with his dad and stuff, and it's really cool. It's like the first time his Spider-Man and his dad like meet and like become homies and stuff, like how you see in Across the Spider-Verse, they kind of have like a repertoire with each other. And stuff. It's like Spider-Man and then the cop, his dad. And yeah, that's pretty much Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Well, that was very good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Or good to be like refreshed with. Cause,
yeah.
Because now I'm putting it with what I just saw. What did you think of Spot as a? I mean, was he even like a full-on like antagonist? I feel like
not until the end, really.
Until the end of what?
Across the Spider-Verse, when he gets like full power.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like really the antagonist of.
No, he just kind of seemed like some like goofy villain who like didn't even like he wasn't even like really a threat, you know?
Really?
Like, I mean, I'm saying like at first when he was like robbing the ATM.
First. Yeah, no, at first he was, you know, I mean, Miles said it himself, he was villain of the week vibes, which just pissed him off more. But like that, yeah, I really liked Spot.
I did too.
I really loved him.
Yeah, he was a good character.
From the trailers, I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know how this guy's going to be the main villain, because you just see him as the villain of the week version of himself.
Oh, okay.
And you're just like, I don't know about this. And then I saw the movie and saw that, he's kind of scary actually.
Yeah.
By the end. And like I really like his arc that he goes on from like being the villain of the week, goofy, like, you're my nemesis, and just like, what are you talking about? You're dumb, dude.
Yeah.
To this, like, you start feeling his like threat throughout the like second act and stuff, and I feel like I don't know. I really liked that. And then by the time you get to the end, he's like super powerful and like horrific, and you're like, oh shit, we're screwed.
They're done right. I really enjoy stories, where the villain or the antagonist is not like some like kind of like stereotypical, like just starts out as like some like evil like mustache twirling like villain.
Yeah.
But where they're like, it's interesting to see. It's like, oh, how do like bad people who aren't like, who don't already, like, if they don't have like some like as they call it, like villain origin story, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like if they don't if they weren't like treated horribly all throughout high school or whatever, like how do people become villains?
Right.
And if they're done right, like they're just really fascinating to watch. Like with Spot, like I thought like just how he obviously has like low self-esteem, and we're psychoanalyzing here, like low self-esteem, and just obviously like he's not necessarily out to prove himself. Like he's just kind of, like you said, he's like, people like couldn't get a job with this looking like this, so I kind of turned to a life of petty crime. But then when he realizes that he's kind of like, when what essentially is now his job, people are just kind of laughing at him and not taking him seriously, and obviously it starts to get at him, because
it bums him out. He wants to be taken serious.
He wants to be taken a little serious. Like he's not trying to, he wasn't trying to like even hurt anyone.
No, he just wanted some cash so he can buy some groceries.
Exactly, he's just trying to jack an ATM. Yeah. And then like, so that's very interesting. Killer Croc from the Batman universe is another one of those, just where people like don't take him seriously, and they're like, oh, you're a monster, and then he's like, oh, I'll show you a monster. Rawr.
It's also similar to Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in a little bit.
I was thinking that too. Yeah. Although if they had not carried his arc into No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, I would not have agreed that was done as well.
Oh, no, not at all. This Spot was done significantly better.
I think, but they did
handled better.
They did kind of save like Electro, like, okay, because I really like Electro and Peter Parker's dynamic, like they had, where, and like, Andrew Garfield is just like, he just plays so well, good. Like the kind of like supportive like older brother type when he's Spider-Man. Yeah. And just like, being like, trying to be really cool to him, because obviously, Max had some mental shit, right? Like he literally had like a birthday cake in his fridge, like, for himself. Yeah. And and he was very like depressed, and, was like, so, I think that Peter Parker was very like kind of supportive to, him, but I feel like they could have done better. They could have done it better, like why, like he like became like a villain. Like I think his journey was kind of rushed.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it literally was triggered because Spider-Man just didn't recognize him as Electro and didn't know who he was, and so that upset him. Exactly. Where I feel like with Spot, however, I feel like the act of Spider-Man not taking him serious and calling him a villain of the week, that is a better trigger, because he already was dealing with self-esteem issues, and then when it's like the guy who made you this way doesn't take you serious, it's like, okay, I could see why that pisses you off. Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so I really like Spot and his whole arc, and I'm really excited to see where they take it and beyond. Yeah. I think it's going to be hopefully just batshit crazy.
I'm awesome. Sure, dude.
Well, what did you think about like the whole spider group of just like their whole like unit of spider people?
I was wondering, I was like, okay, so wait, are they all like in this world and they're not like in their own worlds? Like,
yeah, they go there to like, that's where they work basically.
Like, but don't they do work in like their own universes or their own worlds as like spider people?
Oh yeah, of course. But like how they're like recruited by Miguel O'Hara to like help him take anomalies, like other things or people from other universes that aren't supposed to be in their universe, and bring them back to theirs.
Gotcha.
So they basically are like the spider task force that helps clean up the universe of like anomalies that aren't supposed to be there, and
That
just
makes
bring them
sense.
back. And they're not there like how like Spider-Punk or Jake Johnson, Spider-Man, Spider-B Parker, they come in for like a few hours to help out, and then they go home and like take care of stuff there. It's like
Okay.
it's basically just like an office job.
Wait, didn't you say that? Didn't you say that in the first one, Peter B. Parker and Mary Jane got divorced?
Oh yeah.
So
sorry.
why were they together in this one?
Because Miles helped him like figure out his shit, and they, I guess, made up and got back together.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good, Miles.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Because obviously, that things worked out because they got busy. I just watched that yesterday.
Dude, that was
The
so funny.
Incredibles. Yeah, and they ended up having a kid. So
Yeah.
wow,
It worked out.
fucking teenage Dr. Phil or something over here.
Yeah.
Fucking Miles. But I was gonna say, as far as the aspect goes, with like the different, like the whole spider unit, like, yeah, I thought that was very interesting. What I really enjoyed was the whole dynamic with like them, and then like, Miles like trying to, because from they kind of played it. I was going to say they could have played it, but they kind of did play it where like we see it from both sides, and we see like the spider organization's angle about like Miles, he's an anomaly, and he can't what is it, he can't F with the canon event shit,
Yeah, like he prevented Spider-Man India's canon event from happening.
Yes.
And now he's not going to be like, I really liked how every Spider-Man has a very specific tragedies in their lives that help push them in their journey and define who they are and become a better hero that they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, Uncle Ben or uncle figure, father figure is like the first canon event that like sends him into being Spider-Man. But then there's like the Captain Death that like teaches him more things and pushes him even further down that line. And then eventually like Gwen dying pushes him further again, and like he like makes him even more of who he becomes and stuff. And like these are like canon event tragedies that like they need to experience. And so I like that, and how Spider-Man India was about to have that canon event of the Captain dying and humble him a little bit, and Miles prevented that from happening. So now he's just not going to learn those like humbling lessons that he needs to.
Yeah, he definitely needs to. Yeah.
And yeah, it's an interesting dynamic that now that Miles is Spider-Man, he has to adhere to those canon events. But maybe that's what gives him the possible chance of eventually saving his dad, because he's not supposed to be Spider-Man. Is preventing his canon events gonna destroy his universe? Is it gonna be an issue? Or is the fact that he is an anomaly, he can get away with that and it not like break the universe?
Well, I would say definitely the latter, because I think that if him being an anomaly, like he's not like he doesn't have to play by the rules, nor is like any specific rules going to follow a pattern with him.
Exactly.
So
like
I don't think that
he's not a part of it. He's an anomaly.
And that's
so
sort
why
of,
does he have to adhere to the same like BS?
That's what I'm saying. And that like kind of unpredictability is exactly why Miguel O'Hara is like kind of obviously he's got his own shit too.
Yeah.
Like that dude has been through some shit, and I get it. But that's why he cares so much about kind of stopping it.
Yeah.
Because like he's like, we can't have. So all that to say, like they show you both sides and they show you where everyone's coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really effective storytelling in that way, where you don't really, outside of Spot, who's honestly not in the film like too much because
Not really.
it is like kind of just a middle chunk of a 3-part story. You don't really have like a straight up, like villain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of like this conflict that you're kind of observing.
Yeah, it's really interesting and fascinating because, yeah, with like Miguel O'Hara's side of it, and really the whole like Spider Society, they all understand that they do have to let these tragedies happen because it's like it's part of them and they have to. But Miles isn't a part of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which I like, again, when they're on the like rocket flying up. I forget what Miguel tells Miles. He's something about like him having to like join and help them out or like come back and like let it happen. And he says like, nah, man, I'm going to do my own thing. Like, I feel like that's really the theme of the Spider-Verse movies is Miles really leaning in and becoming his own thing on uniqueness, or like embracing his unique self outside of the whole spider thread, because he's not a part of it. He can do his own thing, really, and that's what makes him so great and unique.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Very well put.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the whole theme of the trilogy. I think I just cracked the code.
You just cracked the key to the Spider Universe.
That's how I feel right now. I feel like I just cracked the code to the universe. Because I never even thought about that before, but until right this moment, and I was like, oh shit, that's like what their theme of
I love that
the thing is.
And I also, let it not go unsaid that kind of like Miles' whole world, they do a really good job of just kind of like letting you into that and showing you like I mean, I remember one of the like primary like scenes that people remember from the first one is where he's singing that Post Malone the Sunflower song, and he's just walking down, it's Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
Walking down like a Brooklyn street and just listening to his music, and like all around him you see like the like beautiful colorful atmosphere of like what's going on, all the graffiti, and like there's people are like planting flowers in this area, and then over here people are like playing basketball or like ordering from a food truck.
Yeah, it's very like, you can tell it's very like
vibrant.
Vibrant and alive.
And I love how they like, just kind of pull you into that world. So like, like linking that back to what you said, I think that like the character that shows kind of like the character of Miles and kind of like his whole like vibe and his whole like, you know, like how he kind of conducts himself. And, I don't really think that you have to do a compare contrast from Miles to Peter Parker because they're just two different people.
Yeah.
But I really think that like, I mean, I don't have like a preference one over the other, but I really do enjoy how Miles like is kind of like someone who doesn't really need to do a whole lot of, I'm not going to say change, but like soul searching. Like he's Miles already kind of knows who he is. He's confident, and he's like, he's already kind of like, stuck in his ways for good and bad.
Yeah.
Whereas, Peter Parker is obviously like very unsure of himself and very like kind of shy and bookish. Yeah. And Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man, well, we all know how it changes him. And that whole path.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that to say, I really loved how they like made Miles' character and arc throughout these two movies.
To touch on what you were saying about Miles' universe being so unique and stuff, that's something I think Across did so much. Just, I mean, Into the Spider-Verse really didn't do much of it, but they really did a great job in Across the Spider-Verse of making the various universes so unique from each other. Like Gwen's universe being very animated in a very like watercolor.
You said like oil painting or
it's like oil painting or watercolor type of animation. Yeah, which is it's so cool, and I didn't even notice this happening during my watching of it, but apparently, and now looking back I can see it, but it's like a mood ring universe basically.
Okay.
So like specifically in the scene when she's talking to her dad, when she comes back and gets like banished from the spider league, whatever, when she's banished from that and gets sent home and she's talking to her dad, you can see the backgrounds and everything so like very blue, and then when they make up and they hug, it like explodes to like pink.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that's supposed to be tied to their emotions, and their universe is like a mood ring basically.
That's
which is really fascinating. I think it's so sick and unique.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder. I noticed a similar thing. We didn't get to see Spider-Punk's like actual universe, but I noticed with his universe, it was like very like I guess like punky, like
yeah,
like you noticed, like it looked like if you stepped into the universe, it'd be like someone's like messy ass garage with a bunch of like just like shit and guitars and like a garage band practicing with probably like cigarette butts and like chains.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like London 80s underground grunge,
exactly,
punks and stuff.
And did you notice anything with Peter B. Parker's universe, like when he went in and he was talking to Mary Jane?
No, it seemed pretty standard. I think they're probably pretty close to Miles's universe in terms of style. So yeah, nothing. I didn't really notice much there. But yeah, just really great attention to detail with the universes, and I'm just excited to see where they take that. I hope we get to see Spider-Punk's universe.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Like Spider-Man India's universe, for example. Like that was a crazy, crazy world, and how they animated that with, I forget what it's called, but their version of Manhattan, with it's just like so tall.
Oh yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, well, just kind of how like the art style like kind of like just changed for that like segment.
Oh yeah.
I
just love the unique styles of art throughout the whole film.
Yeah, no, it definitely ups the rewatchability too.
Oh yeah, there's so many Easter eggs throughout that you're gonna be able to watch this thing 30 times and still be picking up new things. I mean, speaking of like the Easter eggs and stuff, how'd you feel about the inclusion of live action stuff?
Oh, I that was one of my favorite parts actually, where you had Childish Gambino. He was just as the Prowler. Yeah. Because like he is canonically like that character.
Oh yeah.
In the Marvel universe, and then he just like looks at him. He's like, "It's not polite to stare." And I was like, that was good. Yeah. And what was the other live action? There's like something else.
They had
he was in there like for 2 scenes, but
yeah, and there was the cash register woman from Venom.
Oh yeah.
I forget. I don't know her name.
I don't know.
They had a bit of Andrew Garfield with his Captain Stacy from the first Amazing Spider-Man, when they did the whole like showing a case of Spider-Mans who have to lose a captain. He was in there.
Oh yeah.
And then when they talked about losing uncles, they showed Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with Uncle Ben in that scene when he died.
That was all really good.
Yeah.
That they're like appreciating the prior like material, but they're not just like ripping it off or doing like a retread.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I really liked it, but it makes me nervous for the third one, because I'm just afraid if they bring in like live action things for like the fight, the like big climax and stuff, I feel like it could get goofy. The mix of animation and live action.
Oh yeah, I don't think they would do that.
I hope they don't, because I feel like that could ruin it. But
yeah, no, I don't.
That makes me nervous.
I mean, I think they're just kind of showing throughout like the different iterations of Spider-Man. I don't think it's gonna be like incorporated in even any like really like scenes really.
Yeah, that would be my hope, but I just heard one rumor and it made me really nervous.
What was the rumor?
Just that they were going to be implemented a lot more. And I was just like, oof, I hope not.
Well, as Eli says, don't be scared.
I'm not scared. But yeah, so what else?
I think we hit the nails on the heads.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else. I know that there was something, but I don't really know.
There's probably going to be some memes made about Miles' mom.
Her mom? His mom?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she is MILF.
Oh, I see.
Why did I have to spell that out for you?
I don't know.
Oh, God. No, I'm just
what did you think about the, like, this is a good thing we should talk about, is the ending. Like, what did you think about how they left things off? Because I know that's a point of controversy right now.
Oh, I mean, that was the only thing that I didn't love about it, but I understand why they did it, but I mean, I did think it was like, okay, the only one that I can really compare this to is, did you ever see that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie?
No.
Okay, then it's gonna be completely lost on you, but like literally they just ended it, like the monsters take like all of her friends. And then she's like, you know, in the movie, right?
Yeah.
The movie ends with her driving down the road with her dad, and she's like, I know, like, you know, someday, like, we're gonna, like, get all the stones together, and we're gonna get my friends back. And then the movie just ends. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
oh, wow.
And that was in 2017, I think.
Oh, jeez.
So they never made another one of those, and, you know, her friends are probably dead. But my point with that is, it was just like, I mean, I did feel like the ending was just kind of like, all right, and we're just gonna kind of take care of this next movie. All right, see you guys. So that was like the vibe I kind of got from the ending. That I do wish it was a little more like. I mean, I don't know. They could, because okay, if you think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, the Empire Strikes Back, which you said it was being compared to, ends like kind of on a cliffhanger, yeah, but there's like some resolution. There's
not just a big sense of finality to it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's its own chapter. It's not just like open-ended from beginning to end. It's not just this like open scenario that you like need to watch both. You can just watch Empire Strikes Back if you feel like it, and it's its own fulfilling story.
Oh yeah, and I've heard also comparisons to Infinity War, because when that happened, that was compared to Empire, just like them losing in the end, basically.
But I feel like
the theme. But that also has a huge sense of finality to it. There's a clear end to that story.
Yeah, I feel like that's the story that they told. Infinity War ends on a downer.
Yeah.
And that's the ending. Because when you go to Endgame, it's not just like, all right, you know, starts off right from, you know, it's like 5 years later, everyone's depressed, like that was that story. It, you know, Infinity War just ended like that because that was that part of the story.
And this is more like akin to a 2-part episode season finale of a show.
Exactly.
It's very like episodically cliffhangery, and then I'm assuming Beyond will literally open up right where we leave off here.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think probably one of my biggest complaints. I understand, and I'm fine with it, but it is a point of conflict, and I feel like that brings down the rewatchability of this one just slightly, just a little bit.
Yeah, or at least if we have, you know, if you would like just binge it with that one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't remember this happen, but I feel like Into the Spider-Verse was not like, it kind of had more finality.
No, it's very contained.
It's very contained. Yeah.
It ends. There's a small cliffhanger, just showing of like when Gwen comes back, but that's just like a little tease of like, oh, we're coming back. It's not just like we're literally in the middle of a very like tense situation, like, and then it ends.
Yeah.
It's just like the main story ended, and then it was like a stinger at the end of just like, oh, here's what's to come.
Yes.
You know, so that definitely is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, the only real negative besides the end that I have would just be just the soundtrack isn't as like memorable as the first one. Like I think the score is really great, but like with
they didn't have as many like eclectic songs.
Yeah, you didn't have like Into Danger or like Sunflower and stuff on there that made the soundtrack like really like vibrant and unique.
I will say, whatever song, what's his uncle's name?
Uncle Aaron.
Uncle Aaron played for him when he was in his house. It was like some like old Motown like 60s like
that
R&B.
Was really cool.
What is that song?
I gotta know. I gotta figure that out.
I don't know if you can stop it. I pulled out my phone so I could Shazam it in the theater, but like it didn't catch it.
Oh man, yeah. So
we'll look it up.
Other than that, that's pretty much it.
But yeah, no, that was like the only like.
Yeah.
Were there even any other songs in it?
Not that I can remember. Yeah, I don't really remember there being any.
That's a good point. Especially when they hit the nail on the head with like that like music kind of being one of the key things that people remember about the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally, if you like go to search up Sunflower, which is a Post Malone song, it's just like the first one that comes up on Spotify is like from the motion picture soundtrack.
Yeah.
So
hopefully with Beyond we get a little bit more of that back.
Yes.
But
credit to where credit's due, that one song was sick.
Yeah, that song was really good. I gotta figure that out.
I gotta figure it out.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. You got anything?
No, I think we about covered it.
All right. Well, cool. What did you give it a good rating?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would give it I was thinking about that. I was going between a couple, but I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
I think it was a great movie.
I gave it 4.5 out of 5, so about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pretty much just for the fact that it's a single parter and the soundtrack thing. But other than that,
well, 4.5 isn't a bad score at all.
No, not at all. I feel like maybe I do feel like with subsequent rewatches it could get to a 5 eventually, but I'm pretty comfortable putting it at 4.5 right now.
Yeah, I think that's a comfortable spot.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Other than that, I guess we can begin wrapping it up here. You got any socials you want to plug where people can find you?
Yes. So my I would mainly like to plug my Twitter. It is no, I don't fucking have Twitter.
I was just gonna say, I was like, Twitter.
I hate Twitter.
It's like you've never had a Twitter before.
Oh, my Instagram is Dono_HOLLAH Holla. And it is only that because I remember Leland decided to change it to that one night after he did a lot of drugs, and I was like, that's pretty good. And his contact, he changed his contact for me, so I was just like, okay.
I see.
I was like, that's good. That's a good name for an Instagram handle.
It is a good one. I like it.
What about you?
So I got my little Instagram, Jake O'Mara, OMARA _ on Instagram, and I think that's the same thing on Twitter, and on Letterboxd it's just my name. And then if you want to contact us here on the show, you can send a DM or something to the Miscast Review on Instagram, on TikTok, and the Miscast Review at gmail.com if you want to send an email or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next week we'll hopefully be back next week and not do another 2-week break. We got a few pretty huge releases coming out pretty soon that we got to get to. We got The Flash coming up next. Barbie, Oppenheimer, or those are July's, but for June I think we got The Flash and then Indiana Jones next.
All right.
So pretty exciting. It's blockbuster season.
Pretty excited.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's it.
All right.
Well, thank you all for watching and listening and doing your thing. Hopefully we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
All right. See you guys later. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no. Flip them off. Didn't you do that last week too?
No.
Oh. Right. Very nice.